Now we are going to talk about the outer bow if it is bent upwards like this, right? Again, this is a cervical headgear. This is a cervical headgear. The point of attachment is somewhere here on the neck. But if I just bend the outer bow upwards, so what happens is the line of force, when I get it down and attach it here, the line of force will be lying above the center of resistance of dentition and below the center of resistance of maxilla. Now you tell me what will happen to the dentition and what will happen to the jaw. So if we take the dentition, what we have to do, the line of force go around the center of resistance. So what happens is it goes like this. So this is anti-clockwise. That means my occlusal plane will not be steepened. It will be flattened, right? Because it's dental. Skeletally, what will happen? It's still lying below somewhere here. So if I take it like this, this is clockwise movement. So my maxilla is still tipping downwards anteriorly, but the dentition is actually, the molars are erupting, but the anteriors are going up, right? The occlusal plane is tipping up. So maxilla is tipping down and the molars are tipping, the occlusal plane is tipping upwards. So this is how you take out the moments, how you know what effect it will have on the dentition, what effect it will have on the jaws. Now if you take a occipital headgear. Now occipital headgear takes support of the occipital bone. That's why it's called as the occipital headgear. The force is high up. It's somewhere here, right? So if this is the center of resistance of maxilla, what happens to the force? If you have a high pull headgear like this, again moment we'll calculate for the dentition first and then for the maxilla first. So what happens to the dentition? This line of force, which moment is created? It's anti-clockwise moment for the dentition. So anti-clockwise means it's going to flatten out. The occlusal plane is going to flatten out. For the dentition, for the maxilla, take the line of force around the center of resistance of maxilla. Yes, the maxilla is going to tip upwards. Again, there is an upward force which can be bisected into two different vectors. One is x and one is y. So what happens? There is a distalizing force on the maxilla and there is an intrusive force on the, because see, the outer bow, inner bow is attached to the molar, so ultimate effect is there on the molar as well. So molars are going to intrusion of molars. In cervical we saw extrusion of molars. In here we see intrusion of molars. If we have a combi pull now, that means we are taking support of two, the neck and the occipital. Then what happens is somewhere the forces balance out. So you get more of bodily. It all depends where your line of force is. If your line of force is below the center of resistance, just take it around it, you will have a clockwise movement. If it is above the center of resistance, then you will have anti-clockwise. That is how you need to draw your diagrams. That is how you need to understand the concept of headgears. Then you have asymmetric headgears where you have one arm that is long of the outer bow and one arm that is short. So the distance is going to vary of the short arm and the long arm. This is done where you have asymmetric malocclusions, right? So this is all about headgears. Then when you come to class 3, class 3 is nothing, it's much simpler than this. There is not so much biomechanics involved. In class 3 you have maxillary deficiency. That means the maxilla is not growing, it is deficient. So you need something to pull out the maxilla, right? And that is a face mask or a reverse protraction headgear. It is a headgear, it's taking support of the head, but it is actually pulling it out rather than pushing it in, right? So these are called as face masks. There are 3 types of face masks: Delaire, and you have Petit, and then you have Tubingus, and there are many more. This is what we studied in biology years back. Now you have Keeley's face masks, you have implant supported face masks. There are many, right? Basic funda is same, that you need to pull out the maxilla. So the force is applied at a 15 to 20 degree angle. Why? Because of the moment. Same thing, the line of force should pass through the center of resistance of the maxilla. So we are trying that because we don't know where the center of maxilla is. We cannot cut it open and then apply the force, right? So we are just guesswork. That's what we are doing. And then the forces for this and for face mask is around 400 to 500 grams. They have to wear it at least 12 to 16 hours a day. And what else in face mask? The anchorage sites in face mask are your forehead and chin. So they take support, there is a rod that connects these two, and then you pull out by giving a splint. There is an acrylic plate that fits onto the dentition, and then you have elastics connected to this rod that will pull out the maxilla. So this is helpful in treatment of class 3 malocclusions. Suppose your class 3 patient has a problem with the mandible. The mandible is too large and it's growing. You need to stop it. So you need to restrain it. So then you have the appliance that is called as chin cup. Again, it's like headgear. Headgear was for maxilla, chin cup is for mandible. So chin cup is applied from the anchorage point, that is your head, occipital, and then it's straight applied onto the chin. There is a chin pad and then that's applied, the force is applied. So this causes a distal direction of movement. It's supposed to restrain the growth of mandible, but what we have seen in research is rather than restraining, it actually redirects. So when you are pushing, because mandible is attached, it's a free bone attached only at one point, that is your temporomandibular joint. So when you apply a force, it tends to rotate and open up. So what actually we do is we redirect the direction, redirect the growth of the mandible into a more favorable position, into a more vertical position. That's what we do. So these are the orthopedic appliances, the headgears for class 2, and then you have protraction face mask and for maxillary deficiency in class 3, and then you have the chin cup for mandibular prognathism in class 3. I hope you understood this concept. Still, if you have doubts about center of resistance of tooth or of maxilla or how the forces will pass through, you can just give me a call or you can WhatsApp me, and then we can have a one-to-one discussion about that. I hope you have enjoyed this, you have understood what I tried to convey, and I'll see you next class. Till then, stay safe, stay at home and keep studying. Bye, see you.